All right, today we're talking about our evaluating functions from graphs and tables and the average rate of change. So let's go ahead, let's get started. So for this, if we're evaluating functions from graphs and tables, first we're going to start with the graphs. So we're going to look, and if you remember from before, wherever we have f of x, we knew that whatever number in here is your x value. So we're going to look at our x's, our x-axis, which is right here, and we're going to go through to figure out when x is 2, what's the y value. So I've got x2, so here's x2, and I go up, and then that relates to 4. So I know that when f of 2 on this graph, that your y is going to be 4. So you can also think of it as an ordered pair. So when x is 4, y is going to be 4. All right, so now let's look here. It says f of 4 equals when the y, so we're going to find the y value when x equals 4. So again, if 4 is your x, we're going to go over here to 4, and we're going to go up to our graph right here, and then we're going to look over here to see what is related to 4 at that point, and it would be 8. So f of 4 equals 8. All right, so now for this one, it says f of x equals 5. So remember, when we see f of x, that's really like your y value. So we're saying when y equals 5, what are the x values? So let's look here. Now we're going to go up and we're going to look at y equals 5, or this is actually f of x equals 5. So here we've got this point, which is 1, 5, and we have this point, which is 3, 5. So the x values would be 1 and 3. So this is just looking at the graph and then trying to determine which one are you looking for, the x or the y, and to see where your graph hits on that point. All right, so now let's look at this one. I'll get you started and you're going to do the rest. It says f of x equals negative 6. Find all the x values where y equals negative 6. So again, you're going to go to your y, and all your y's are going to be negative 6. So the only point that it hits the line is at this point, which is 1, negative 6. So I know x would be 1. All right, so I want you to go through, and you're going to find those values. And remember, you can make an ordered pair if that helps you, or just look at the graph and follow along. All right, so now functions as tables. So h of a represents the average height of the boys who are a years old. So we're going to use the table to evaluate the function. So basically, the boys' age are your x's, and the average height is your y. So if you were to have h of 7, so this is your x value of 7, we're going to go down to where x is 7. And we see that 7 is related to 49. So I know that h of x, or h of 7, is 49. Now this one's pretty easy. So if you go to x is 11, we know that's related to 57. Now c is a tricky one. For c, notice it says 1.5. Well, 1.5 is actually 18 months. So we're going to have to go and convert these to years. So this is half a year, this is 1 year, and this is 1.5 years. So when we're looking at 1.5, we're actually looking at 18 months. And we know 18 months goes with 34. All right, so now we're going to go and we're going to work in reverse. We're going to calculate the value of a that makes it true. So if we're looking at h of a, so we're looking for x, and they gave us y. So we're going to look at 61. And 61 is related to 13, so x equals 13. So go through, I want you to try those by looking at the table, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with average rate of change. So what we're going to do is we're finding the slope over of a function over a specified interval. So it doesn't always have to be a straight line, but we're looking for the interval. All right. So for this, it says find the average rate of change over the interval 0 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3. So if we were to write this in interval notation, it would look from 0 to 3. But here's what we need to do. Let's look at our graph. And I have 0, 1, which is this point. And I have 3, since we're looking here. So here's where it goes here. And then if you go up to 3, it hits at this point, which is 7. So my two ordered pairs would be that where it hits this graph of your parabola. So we're going to use this point and this point because those are 1 or 0 and 3, and we're going to find slope. So we're going to go 7 minus 1, which equals 6, and then 3 minus 0, which equals 3. Put these two together, which equals 2. So the slope from here to here is 2. And if you graph it, it makes sense. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, even though it does not necessarily fit the parabola or the quadratic. But you're looking at your x values. All right, so let's try this one. Find the average rate of change over the interval 0 to 9. And again, we're looking at our x's. So this is 0, and then this is 9 right here. So we're only looking from this section. And let's see, it hits here, and it hits here. So we're going to use those 2 points to find slope. So these are our 2 points we're using. And I got, depending on which way you use to find slope, you could either get 10 over 9, or it would be negative 10 over negative 9, which simplifies to 10 over 9 anyways. So this is the average rate of change or average slope. You can do it with a table also. You're going to do the interval of 1 to 4. So you're looking at your x's. So we're only looking at our x's, and I see 1 here and I see 4 here. So we're going to use this point and we're going to use this point. And we're going to find slope by doing your change of y over change of x. And that's going to give you negative 4. All right, so I want you to try this. Make sure you fill in this information. Make sure you use the correct ordered pairs and find slope. And then if you did this correctly, your answer should be negative 4. All right, so now we want to find the average rate of change from an equation. So we're going to plug in x values to find the y value, and then once you get that, then you're going to find the slope of the 2 points. So from 1 to 5, so remember, these are your x's, so these are all x's. So I'm first going to look at 1, and I'm going to substitute 1 wherever I see x. So I've got negative 1 squared minus 3 times 1 plus 2. So remember, 1 squared is 1, and then we're going to bring this negative down right out front. And then we've got negative 1 minus 3 plus 2. So y is negative 2. So the ordered pair we're going to use for slope is 1, negative 2. All right, now we need to find our other point. So we said the other x is 5. So we're going to do the same thing. We've got negative, substitute parentheses, 5 squared minus 3, substitute in 5, plus 2. And again, 5 squared is 25. And don't forget this negative to bring down. And then go through, so you should have negative 25 minus 15 plus 2. And all that combines to give you y equals negative 38. So when x is 5, y is negative 38. All right, so now I have 2 ordered pairs. Now I'm going to find slope. So subtract your y's, and that gives you negative 36. And then subtract your x's, and that's going to give you 4. And the average rate of change is going to be negative 9. All right, so I want you to go through and I want you to find the interval from negative 2 to 3 for your x's. So I already did the substitution for you. I want you to go through, solve each one, find the ordered pairs, then find slope. If you do this correctly, you should have gotten an answer of 6. And then that is evaluating functions from graph and tables and finding the average rate of change.